guys, so today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to survive university, so to speak. Now that sounds kind of daunting, and I wouldn't say survive is probably the best way to put it, but I'm going to be telling you how to kind of make your whole university experience a lot easier, so to speak. So these are my 10 or 11 university survival tips and also what I've learned at university. So I really hope that you guys do learn something, or you can make the most of this advice that I'm giving you. I know that I'm only in my first year at university, but I have learnt a lot since I've been at university, and I just want to share that with you guys. So if you want to know some tips and tricks that I've learnt, then just keep on watching. I know my hair looks crazy in this video. I put it in plaits a couple of days ago and left them in, and now I look like a cave woman. So the first thing that I have learned, which is really important, is to budget. And university is expensive enough as it is without going out and spending all of your student loan straight away. So I would recommend you all to budget. Now, I don't always practice what I preach, and when I first got to university I definitely didn't do a whole lot of budgeting, and I kind of wish that I had now. I kind of thought, well, I've got a student loan and I've got money saved up, so I'm just gonna buy what I want, and I'm gonna eat what I want, and I'm gonna go out as much as I want, and that is expensive. So I would really recommend you to budget your savings and say budget what you would like to spend every month, and then it means that if you ever do want to splurge on something, you've got kind of a side pile of money that you are able to use and spend on what you would like. The second thing that I would really recommend and that I have learned from is join a club, get involved. That is such an important thing. It was really important to me. I joined netball. I have played netball for years and years, and I wanted to carry that on. Getting involved is so important. It can give you a whole new group of friends, a whole new social circle of people to get involved with, a new group of people to go out with, and just something to take your mind off when you're getting stressed with work. And it's always really great to go out and do some exercise, and if you're ever in a bad mood or you don't have much energy, it sounds like the weirdest thing to do, but go out and do some form of exercise, whether that's for your training session, which I have training 4 times a week, or going for a run, or joining some form of social circle. Even if you're not really an active person, maybe get involved with the drama society or the debating club or photography club, or even the newspaper, something like that. Just anything to get involved so you're not just working. I think it's so important when you're at university, because a lot of people live there. I know not everyone that goes to university lives 24/7 at university, but for those of you who do, it's super important to maintain a balance of work but also a balance of extracurricular hobbies or whatever you want to do, because as well as having my YouTube channel, I also want to do active things and things that are going to keep me out of the house and going to give me some fresh air, because it's so important to do something that is with other people, and it's so important to get involved, and it's really going to help you. It can seem really daunting at first. I know I get very anxious when I have to talk to new people, but I asked a couple of my flatmates if they would want to come to the tryouts with me for netball, and they wanted to as well, and now we're all on netball together, and it's so worth it. If you are someone that gets nervous and is not sure how to act around new people, then it's not going to be like that forever. You've just got to think to yourself, right, I'm going to feel a bit awkward now, I may not have many people to talk to, but it's not going to be this way forever. Next week is going to be a new training session or a new tryout session, and I'm going to have known these people before and I will have spoken to them before, and it makes things a whole lot easier. Now I'm going to end up sounding like a parent, but don't leave your work until the last minute. This is something that I have always done, unfortunately. I did it all the way throughout my school, even for my A-levels, which is really bad to admit, but I left all my work, all my revision to the last minute, and at university you just can't do that. I was fortunate enough to kind of get through my A-levels without putting in a lot of work. I did do revision, but I could have done more, and I very fortunately was able to get through my exams and I was able to get to university, the university that I wanted to go to, but it doesn't happen like that at university. It's a whole new ball game. There is so much more emphasis on personal learning that you really have to get up and make yourself go to the library and go and do that work, because if you leave it till the last minute you will not be prepared for your exams or for your coursework or however it is that you're, say, presenting your work. You really need to make yourself do it, and don't leave it to the last minute. Write yourself a planner, write yourself a schedule, say 2 or 3 weeks before your exams, maybe even a month before. I never do it a month before. Again, I don't particularly practice what I preach, but write yourself a revision schedule. Don't say, right, I'm going to revise for 8 hours today, because that's just unrealistic and it's not going to happen. So say do an hour and then have a 15-minute break, or go and make yourself a cup of tea or something and then give yourself a little bit of a break, and then go back and say, right, I'm going to do another hour. Set a timer on your phone, throw your phone onto your bed and don't look at it until the timer goes off and you know, right, I've done an hour's work, and then you'll feel really good about it. You can maintain a balance of revising and doing what you want to do. Say that you can set 1 or 2 days out of the 7 days a week that you use for doing what you want to do. Say you're going to go out and see your friends one day, or you're going to set apart that day to do, I don't know, some baking, or go and watch some YouTube videos, or watch a movie or something like that. But then also say, I have to do this work, because you can't get through it without doing the work. And I unfortunately tend to leave my work until the last minute, but I'm really going to try and not do that. My next tip is to step out of your comfort zone. That can sound really scary for a lot of people. I know that it was for me, but university is a chance to reinvent yourself, so to speak. You're going to a place where there's completely new people, no one has to know you, no one has to know about your past. This is a chance to make everyone see you for who you really are. If you're scared to go and talk to new people, it sounds really stupid, but pretend you're someone else. Kind of take on a character almost of being confident. So pretend that you're this amazing confident person, and it will be a whole lot easier. I know when I first moved into my flat at university, I was so scared to talk to people, but you've really just got to almost pretend that you're not scared and really feel confident. And then if you feel confident, those around you are going to see that you're a confident person, and that you are a talkative person, and that you're a really nice person. And people at school may have had completely different opinions of you. None of them are there. You don't know any of these people, so you can really let them see who you want them to see. And I don't mean being a fake person, I don't mean pretending to be a completely different person, but really let them see the best side of you. I know when I was at school I was not very confident and I didn't have a whole lot of friends, but I was determined not to be that shy girl at university, and you've got to start those conversations yourself. When I first moved in, this is a really good tip when you're first moving into university, I moved in with my parents. I don't mean moved in with them, they helped me move into my room, and what we did was, my room was at the very end of the corridor, so it was difficult to see people kind of passing by. So my mum stayed and unpacked my room for me whilst I went and spoke to my other flatmates and really got myself into the conversation. And you've really got to put yourself out there, and it sounds really scary, but I promise you it's really worth it. So my next tip is to stick it out. There's gonna be ups and downs. University is not a perfect place. A lot of people seem to think that when you go to university everything's going to be perfect, there's going to be really great people, there's not going to be bullies, there's not going to be people that want to make you miserable, but that's not the reality of it. Unfortunately, I was one of those people that kind of sees the world through rose-tinted glasses, and I thought that university was going to be amazing and that there was going to be no nasty people that would want to make you feel miserable, or there'll be no one that would put you down or make fun of you. But there is people like that, and there's going to be people like that throughout life, in jobs, people in everyday life that you're going to meet. There's always going to be those people, but you've got to stick it out. There's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be really good times, and there's going to be times when you just think, why am I here? I want to go home. And I know that I've had those times. I've had times where I've had to call up my parents and said, I don't know if I can do this anymore, whether it's because work has got too difficult or there's been someone that's been making fun of me. The good always outweighs the bad, and you've just got to think that to yourself, and you've got to put on a brave face, and you've got to think it will get better, because it does. It always gets better. They don't last forever, and these bad, really, really miserable times, they don't last forever, and you've got to think, if I left now, what good times with my amazing friends would I leave and would I miss out on? And you don't want to go through life thinking, what if? So one of my biggest pieces of advice is to stick it out, because living at university is a whole new ball game to living at home. And for a lot of people, not everyone, but for a lot of people, they go from living at home with their family to living on their own, adjusting to a whole new way of life, and it's a very intimidating and overwhelming experience. And I definitely had times where I thought that I couldn't do it and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do it anymore, but then I was able to talk to my flatmates. They were so lovely to me, and there's always something good that makes you remember why you're there, and you're there because you want to be there. And I know that the work is difficult and it doesn't always seem like you want to be there, but it's so worth it. My next piece of advice is don't waste money on books. So many people buy tons and tons of books that are super expensive when the majority of the time there are copies of it in the library, and there's also copies that you can get online on ebooks. There's journals online that you can look at for free, and the majority of the time you can just go to the library. I have not bought a single textbook, and I've not needed a single textbook, and I'm not going to need a textbook for my next semester, and I have been able to find books in the library. And obviously there are going to be certain books that you do need to buy, but be careful with the books that you are buying, and if you're buying them, check Amazon, check places like that for cheaper versions of them, but check the library and check for the free resources first before you waste your money, because you're giving that university enough money as it is. My next tip is to know your limits, and yes, I'm talking about alcohol, and I'm not in any way condoning underage drinking or whatnot, and I'm 18 years old, which is the legal drinking age here in England. Obviously it's going to be different for people in Canada and America when the drinking age is higher, but I know that you guys get around it. I guess this really does apply to you guys as well, because it's at house parties and wherever else it is that you guys drink, if you do drink. I'm not saying that everyone at university drinks, I'm not saying that, but I'm being realistic, and this does happen, and you don't want to be the person that has too much to drink and makes a fool out of themselves and has to get taken home, because it's not great for you, it's not great for the people around you, and if it gets into a habit, you'll start getting yourself a reputation, and you don't want that. You don't want to be the person that is always drunk and is a mess. So know your limits. I'm not saying don't drink, I'm not saying don't have a good time, but if you are going to drink, then don't blur the line. And I'm not talking about Robin Thicke's song, I'm talking about the hypothetical line. My next tip is to make an effort with your lecturers and your tutors, and this is really important. I know that I've been to visit my personal tutor several times, and I am going on study abroad hopefully next year, well, the end of this year, and I've been to her several times to talk about my application because she had to send off a reference letter for me, but also talk to your lecturers and your tutorial teachers, people like that, because if you make an effort with them earlier and, for example, you have a problem maybe with something to do with the exam and you're not sure what to revise for maybe, then talk to them. They are the most important people to talk to because they're the ones that are going to help you out. They know it, they've been through it all before, they've dealt with countless people like you before, and they will be able to give you the best advice. And if they know that you're that person who falls asleep in tutorials and doesn't go to lectures or doesn't go and see their personal tutor for 2 years, they're not going to be willing to help you. But if you're the person who says, "Hi, how are you today?" or goes to your lectures, stays to the end, or puts their hand up and participates in class, then they're going to be a lot more willing to help you out, and at the end of the day, everything else aside, you're there at university for the education, and that is the most important part of university. So make an effort with them and they will make an effort with you. Another tip is also to be wary, and I don't mean this to put you off in any way at all, but you have to be wary of people at university. Not everyone at university is there to be friends with you. There are going to be people that, similarly at school, there's going to be people that maybe want to take advantage of you, or that will try and make you look bad for their own personal gain, and you need to really be wary of these people. And I, for one, am not the best judge of character, but I'm definitely working on it, and I'm not saying don't make an effort with these people, but if someone seems to be acting strange, or if some of your flatmates or your friends have maybe said something to you, then do be wary of these people, because not everyone at university is nice. My last tip is to have fun. I know that some of the things I've said may be slightly off-putting, but they're honestly there to try and help you, and you've got to have a good balance between having fun and working. Have you ever heard the expression work hard, play hard? That's the rule that I live by at university. I work hard, but then I also have a really good time, because you have put all the work in throughout the past 12 years at school to get to this point, and you need to have fun and enjoy the fact that you have made it this far and that you've got to university, and you should be really, really proud of yourself that you've made it this far, and enjoy yourself. Say yes, make the most of opportunities that are given to you, and you won't regret it, because these 3 years or 4 years, however long your course is, will go by so quickly, and you want to make the most of them. So make sure that you work hard, get the exam results, be proud of yourself, but also have a good time. So that is the end of my university survival guide and things that I have learned. I really, really hope that they have helped you. If they have, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, all that good stuff down below. And if you have any questions, maybe about university or whatnot, you can tweet me, you can leave a comment down below and I'll answer it, ask me on Instagram, all that good stuff, because I love talking to you guys. And I really just want to say thank you for watching, and I'm using my new camera lens. Hopefully the quality's good. I have got my contacts in and I still can't particularly see the viewfinder very well, but I'm pretty sure I'm in focus. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!